recording yet? Are you sure? Are you 100% sure? We're good? We can just flow? Okay.
Sure.
Jay.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you by Jay.
Correct.
Right, but that's not really your name.
No.
Do you mind people know your real name?
Well, sure. They can know my name.
Okay, what's your real name?
My real name is Ben Holm Jr.
Junior.
Yeah.
So the J,
Comes from Junior.
that's awesome. Everybody just started calling you Jay.
Well, I grew up, and I went past 16, and basically people were like, well, should we just call you Junior? I was like, well, I'm growing up now, so just call me
Right.
Jay.
So B2,
Yeah.
right, is Ben
And Benjamin.
Benjamin, which is your partner.
Correct.
So B2 for the two B's.
Yeah.
Okay, and then audio.
B squared.
Right, B squared. Okay. Who actually came up with that?
I just think it was like we were just sitting here figuring out what could we call it. Should be something simple, something unique, and we didn't really see anyone that did the squared sign yet.
Right.
So
Kind of cool, right?
So that was
It looks
actually-
good though. It's
Thank
simple logo.
Yeah.
To the point, stands out. You don't see a bunch of B2s.
Exactly.
And then I'm guessing the logo on the side with the cross, is that something to do with Denmark?
Yeah, it's the Danish flag, and the Danish flag is actually one of the oldest flags in the world. I think it's actually the oldest flag in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
See, people don't realize that, like, in America, we're newbies.
True.
This whole shit started over in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're talking, if you go back, believe Jesus and Israel.
Sure.
I mean, you're talking all over there,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, you were here 2023 SEMA.
Yep.
Okay. But,
Shaking hands?
right? Which we've never met.
No.
We actually just started talking not even a couple weeks ago.
Correct.
Okay. And I said, hey, again, it's not cheap to fly over here. And you're over in SEMA, it costs money. I said, well, if you want to
Pop by, sure.
pop by, which
Yeah.
works out because you got a shorter trip.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of broke it up. So B2 Audio has been in the U.S. how long?
We came 2011,
Right.
and that was mostly based in Texas. And we did quite well initially. Of course, the operation wasn't set up for like massive scale, but we also had some obstacles, you could say, mostly by local people seeing the brand that took off, and all of a sudden people got inspired by doing more or less the same, copying the same kind of white theme and looking at, wow, they did this, can we copy it or make it cheaper and just sell it directly,
Right.
and so on and so forth. And that happens a lot in audio, unfortunately. There
Mm.
aren't that many originators left.
Yeah, so, JL Audio back in the day was like the only, what we used to call innovator.
Yeah.
Because they actually make their own
J-
everything.
Yeah,
Right.
Jail is...
They make everything.
Exactly, Jail is
They have their own
ship.
magnetizer and
Sure.
I mean they make everything. So this is actually a first time we do podcasts, which we'll probably have you on, but while you're in town I figured
Sure.
just a cool little
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll call it an interview or just a hangout. So I was amazed, you meet some people in life, you just click right away. And when I met him, we just kind of, I don't know, it felt like I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I've known you
Now, I feel comfortable.
100%. So even at the house last night, or even talking here, it was just free flow.
Sure.
Wish I had way more time, but so when did B2 get big or known? You feel in the U.S.
I'd say from 2015, 2016, that's probably where we went more nationwide. I started coming more to the shows. I think it was Slamology, I think was there the same year that another big brand, local brand, came there. I think it was 2013 or 2015. That's basically where I started laying like the small seeds for us to grow. And people noticed us more and more, and that was of course up north. But eventually we branched out, and we came with better tents, better looking swag, and so on and so forth. And people saw that some of the demo builds that we were able to do already back then, although they weren't our builds, they were customers' builds, they were getting some traction. And we said, okay, let's try to move onwards. And 2016 is probably where we started making
Right.
an impression.
Who was the one that like who was the crew? I mean, SMD from long as I know was always sported B2.
Sure.
Was he a big part in
I'd
getting
say
the name out there?
I'd say the fact that we're actually able to get in touch with him surely helped. It has not just locally.
Weird. So obviously we're just recording.
Sure.
Whenever he said the 7, it's because he's flying back and I wanted to get something on him. Brett Caruso. Hold on, I have to answer this.
Sure.
Is this the Brett Caruso I think it is? Wow. We were just talking. No, listen, this is crazy because I got, I don't know if you know him, Jay from Denmark owns B2 Audio. He was over here at SEMA and we kind of been talking to help relaunch the product here, okay? And then I said, well, why don't you fly from Vegas here to Florida and stay an extra day or two and then go back? So we were just sitting here chatting and actually doing some video, and we were just talking about JL Audio.
See, there you go.
And the fucking man, the myth, Brett Cruz is ringing my cell phone that I haven't talked to since Pop My Trunk Custom days.
Oh my God!
So Brett's been the jail Brett forever.
Well, Jeff, I didn't know where you went, what happened. I heard you worked for, Audio America for a while?
No. I went back to work for Ron at R&L Audio. And then...
That was it, R&L Audio.
Right, so I went from R&L Audio, opened up Pop My Trunk, and then when that fell apart, I really didn't do much. But then Ron opened up a new company called Best Connections in Deerfield Beach. So he called me up and said, hey, me and Sean, do you want to come back and start another company? And I'm like, well, I'm not doing shit right now. So I went down there. I went down there and we basically started with using Audio Pipe Nippon America, recreated all the primary wire colors and overseas and started bringing them over as Best Connections. And then he already told me when I moved down there that the plan was to move back up. He wanted to retire in the Villages. So we knew after a couple of years we were moving back up this way. So I came back up, helped him get the new warehouse set up, everything. And then a couple of years in, I grew his Amazon, eBay, everything, multi-million dollars. And then I started doing the Big Jeff thing like nights and weekends because Ron was only paying me like $500 a week. And Big Jeff kind of started to grow. And then next thing you know, we parted ways on good terms. And then within a few months, I had to get a building. And then a year later, I was like at 10 employees. And then 5 years later, I'm at 32 employees, new building, which I got to get another one right now. And probably whatever you looked up and found out how big I got.
Wow, yeah, I got an inquiry from JL Audio that you had interest in product, and I called Tony Magner, my rep up there.
Small world, dude, right? We're talking about that.
Exactly.
And Tony said he hadn't met you yet, so I went on to Sunbiz and I saw the last name. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I can't believe I didn't know that you had opened something up there.
I went from nothing out of a garage, okay, we're on track 11 mil this year.
Holy shit.
So we're talking about when did B2 become mainstream here in the U.S.?
2016, and basically from 2017 is where it really started to gain some traction. Groundwork was done in 2016 because that's where we came with bigger tents and banners, started sponsoring shows. And 2017 we decided to let's try to expand even further. And
so how did you meet up with Steve, SMD?
Actually, that was through our...
Because he's very particular.
Yeah,
he promotes.
He is.
I know he's close with Sky High.
Exactly.
Right, but
I actually think it was the work of our previous guy here in the States. So I got to give him that though, because he was able to
get you in
exactly.
Right, so you can profit.
Yeah, and what people don't know about Steve is that they'll already think that we just gave him stuff, but that he actually purchased.
Yeah,
it.
that blew my mind when he told me that last night, and that blew my mind because he's always been a businessman,
Sure.
but I just thought you all were sending him stuff,
No,
so
he
why not
purchased
use
stuff.
it, right? Yeah,
He purchased stuff, and
that's cool.
I
So
can't
what
say anything else.
what it tells me is he believed in the product
Yeah.
enough to purchase the product
Exactly, and
to
install
do
it.
these big installs.
Yeah.
And he's done some wicked shit with it.
True, you know.
I mean, like the full plexiglass.
Yeah.
You know, like the Escalade. And, I mean, he's got.
and just the home audio thing as well.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy because all of these 33s that I've built, I only think that maybe I've seen 2 installs that has been using them. So for him to actually use them daily,
Right.
I'm happy.
Yeah. I'd love a set, but then it'd be like I'm copying them, so I won't do it. Right. And I love, you know, you've been in my car.
Sure,
so I
sure.
got audio, right? At the house, we didn't get to that point. We didn't have enough time, but
Sure,
you turn on the.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
Just a barbecue system. Hey?
Right.
Exactly, you know?
Right. So yeah, man. So that's cool. It's wicked that he built all that. So he's in a sense helping you get
Sure, you know, he's
the name out.
not just for the States, but that's actually more like worldwide. It helps us worldwide also because...
Yeah, he's recognized.
Exactly, he's
Yeah.
recognized. So it gives us credibility. And I think that also helps in terms of just the product, like
Right.
recognition and stuff like that.
And who else do you think brought attention besides Steve Mead?
Well, I cannot neglect the fact that Sky High actually did quite a good job
Right.
because they have their rigs, their shows, and so on and so forth, and that really helped. I wasn't on the business side managing it, so I can't really say any numbers and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
we're not going to go into that, and we're definitely not going to go into what happened, but we can say it's separating from that.
Exactly.
Okay, and we'll leave it at that with everybody. It's none of people's business, nor do we need to talk shit about anything.
Exactly.
What we are talking about is potentially, I don't want to call it a relaunch because the product's been here. And even
Exactly.
I've seen comments last night when I posted us up,
Sure.
right? Because I did both my Big Jeff, and it's weird. Sometimes the personal page just,
Blows up.
yeah, it's crazy, and it's
Exactly.
other times it's the other one. But people are right away.
Yeah.
Oh, B2 Audio for life. Finally got my equipment. So it's here. So I don't want to call it a relaunch, but being that there is going to be a disconnect from where it's been coming in
Sure.
and through who, we got to call it something because you have a lot of product that's never even been here.
True. You know, most of our line, well, I would say a lot of the stuff that we have in Europe hasn't been launched here, even like several years ago. It was just because we didn't really get a grasp of what was popular in the States. But we've also got a bit more info, figuring out what is it that the States like, because in the beginning when we came here, our products were misunderstood.
Right.
We actually we wanted to do more like sound quality, but also make it like overbuilt. Like Jail, when they came with their W7, the 12 inches, it was like a massive sub. It's not a sub you like apply 10K to because it might not go as well, but it's a beautiful sub, and we believe that if we can do something that's like massively built and still have SQ to it, that was the entire theory.
Yeah. The bass heads don't really understand that there is a quality of bass.
Exactly.
Let me get there. And whatever group you're in or whatever you see online is okay. And here's a perfect instance. There's a guy
Yeah.
who's a rep firm in Florida. And I wasn't saying like I was thinking big head, but I'm thinking, how the hell could you not have heard what I did after that?
True.
Because especially in Florida and the rep circle,
Yeah.
they all know me because so many have come in to try to get me with other brands,
Sure.
and it's space, money, everything else, right? You can't just take everything in.
No.
Okay. And that's what blew my mind. I'm like, Brett, where the hell have you been? Like, at least in Florida, in this circuit,
True.
people know Big Jeff Audio is. But, you know, with B2, I'm sure you had particular areas that got supply
Sure.
or following with SMD or
Yeah.
Sky High or what, and it was big there. How much of the product has it been in the U.S. that we can bring back in?
Well, basically, if we're talking 2023, nearly all.
Right,
We're-
all redone.
new line of component kits, new line of woofers, new line of amps. So, of course, I'm not saying that all of it isn't old, but basically most of it, like 90% of the stuff that we have now, hasn't been in the States.
So we don't call it a relaunch. We want to call it like a rejuvenated, or I think that's what we need to call
Sure.
it, because everybody needs to know that B2 Audio never went anywhere.
Yeah, the expansion.
Okay, never went anywhere.
Exactly.
Just the distribution to the U.S. had some big hiccups.
Sure, and during COVID, it was even worse.
Right, of course, everybody had problems,
Sure.
right? But we're saying, after that, it should have been dealt with better here, and it could have been way more product here. So we still can't figure out the person, we're trying to say names, that kind of put us in touch.
Yeah.
Weirdly. And then jumped out, like ghosted. Weird, but I'm glad he did, and we just started talking. So what I want to do is we're kind of pre-recording right now, and I don't know what video this will turn into, but we're just talking before he heads back to Denmark, and use this somehow later down the road, or maybe even now, just to get everybody to understand that B2 Audio never went anywhere. And
on the contrary.
Right. Yeah, actually made a whole new line up there. And that we could possibly very quickly get things rolling back in the U.S.
Sure.
And that's what we've been talking about.
Also on a bigger scale. So it's not just like a few shops here and there, but basically having it nationwide.
100%. And that's what I think we're going to do. Because not much longer, there's going to be no B2 in the U.S. What was here is going to sell through and it'll be gone.
Sure.
And we need to not leave a gap there for the B2 followers that love the brand, love the product. Now, I can say with Jay, I've seen you online.
Yeah.
I knew who you were, but we never talked, never business or anything. You seem to, for the most part, get along with everybody.
I try at least.
Right.
I don't talk shit about anybody. I've been in the business for several years, been working for big brands, and one of the things that they taught me, at least the bigger brands like Blaupunkt, Bosch, Panasonic, is you don't bash your competitors. You should rather work with your competitors to actually grow the market.
That was a big thing when I started the podcast, and I was even trying to invite on competitors.
Yeah.
It was about that. Even tell sales reps, never bash another distributor. Just focus on what we can do better, how we can provide better service, better pricing.
Get inspired.
Right. Now, let the customer talk about their problems and issues with the others.
Sure.
But we don't need to focus on it. We need to focus on what we can do better.
True.
And that's what, kind of make us stand out. So what we got to do is we definitely don't, all the people that love B2, we can't leave them thirsty, hanging.
Sure.
Right?
Got to supply them somehow.
100%. So, possibly Big Jeff Audio could be the platform to help reset up distribution, possibly with other distributors, and also start to get the dealer network going.
That would be great.
Yeah. And then also supply the online retail world, because we know there's a lot of people that just want to do it themselves or get it, and make sure it's a good price to the retail. Yeah. Right? Because it costs money. It's not.
No, we're not looking for this to be the new bargain barrel brand.
Yeah, Power Acoustic or something. And nothing against them, sold a lot of stuff, but it not rated properly. It's not good quality. And then also make it where distributor to dealer can make money and dealer to retail can make money. And
the fact you're able to actually take care of your warranties as well.
100%, right. Because I think that's a big part right now. People, what are they going to do? It's too costly for them to send it all the way back to you. And then what do you do? Charge them to send it back. What else can you do? Unfortunately. So that's what we, in a small amount of time, we're able to really meet, kind of click, come up with some ideas, and then put this in effect before the season where people have money again to spend on items like this, and hopefully, take it to another level, man.
Sure.
I think I like being a part. See, I have nice things. I have toys. It's
sure.
I
great toys actually.
Yeah, right. I more. It's like a satisfaction of completing a goal. Yeah. I hate not meeting that goal, right? So even talking with Brett, I had a stair shop that was very big, very profitable, blew up way too big, too fast. And I think that was part of the problem. And then going into the recession, 07, 06, 07, and 08. Built it too fast to have strong legs to support itself. And that's something like the housing market. It was a bubble. This, even as fast as it grew in less than 6 years, it still was very strong
Yeah.
legs from the bottom.
Foundation.
Yeah, 100%. And the relationships I built. That's why when all the drama started to happen, I really didn't ask for it. I wanted to just network and
Sure.
work with everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't until a stupid podcast triggered all this.
Yeah, and that came about.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
where it triggered.
Yeah.
And it was just because people bring up my past, going to prison, this, that. Instead of bringing up for good things to show where I've went to,
Usually they bring out the worst.
they bring out the word. And then, well, if you all believe that past, which it's real, I'm not a pushover.
No.
I don't take shit.
Yeah.
And the moment I feel like you're trying to step on me, man, I'm going to react.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to react in a different way now. And I reacted cease and desist.
Sure.
I reacted with video. I reacted. And people can do what they want with it. Where we're at now, it's like maybe if you... Part of this video you might not have heard. I don't know if it's going to be edited or not, but JL Audio called us right here in the middle of this, which is crazy. And who knows what's going to happen with it.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to say. I'm just going to say we talked, and Rep Firm's going to come out here. But it just shows you the platform that I built, and having these last brands like Hertz and Kenwood,
Sure.
possibly B2 Audio. I've stepped out of the realm of power acoustics and stuff like that. So, and I think people need to understand. You got to figure out what you're shopping for. Are you shopping for price, or are you shopping for quality?
Yeah.
Right. So, I got a Grand Wagoneer. He got the ride-in last night, and it comes with a Macintosh system. And I'm not talking like a knockoff.
It's a real Macintosh.
This thing is incredible. It's got the Macintosh screen. It's like, I don't even know how many speakers are in there. It's probably like 30. I don't know. But we added the subs here. But my point to it is, I knew when I bought that car, I wanted it for the luxury
Sure.
and the toys,
Yeah.
right? Fuck, it's got night vision.
Yeah, and butt massage, and
Right.
knee massage, and all kinds of stuff.
Freezer in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything, right? So I bought that car for a reason. And then I've had other cars that I bought for other reasons.
Yeah.
Same thing I tell people car audio when they say, "Oh, what's the best?" I can't tell you what's the best. How much am I wanting to pay,
Sure.
right? And what am I getting quality wise out of it?
I usually say the best is what you can afford.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and everybody's what you can afford is different.
Yeah.
Even look, I won't say all the talk because it's a small area, but even JP amps, they're selling very good
Sure.
because they're inexpensive. They look cool.
They have the power.
They have the power,
Yeah.
right? It did a great job underrating. And people buy a 3,000 watt amp and it's doing 4,500 watts. They're happy.
Sure.
Nothing bad about it. But we don't know the return rates. We can only hear or guess or the issues, right? And then you take a amplifier like the Def Bonds, which are Korean, and I barely have any comeback, right? It's quality. But do you have to spend, what's the big 20K? I think we sell for like $2,800. Do you have to spend $2,800, or can you get a good amp for $1,500? Where do you put B2 Audio in pricing? Now I know we'd have to come up.
Sure.
But
sure.
I'm not talking about exact. I'm just saying in your mind where you're kind of trying to sell it at. Where is it, you think, in the U.S. market?
I'd say comparable to strong brands like DD.
Okay.
Def Bonds is definitely a contender. I'm not saying we're doing the exact similar things, but of course they have strong products, but they also have their following. And we have products that can match. I'm not going to go all out on being claimed on this, but still, I would say that we have something that can at least supersede for specific customers. We don't have that many products that they might have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to basically sell 100,000 of our specific woofer or so on and so forth. We're not even geared for that. It would be great if we were, though. But we still like to be the brand that basically can be steered in a direction and catch the market faster. Like Titanic, you want to turn that ship around, it's going to take a long time. Whereas we're not that big, but still we are able to at least, sense what's going on and more or less going in that direction way faster
Right.
with the right input, of course.
Right.
That's why I believe it's important to work with our distributors and our dealers because, sometimes you miss a trend and you might miss that money. Sometimes you can capitalize on that trend, and I think that a lot of the larger brands, they're missing out because they're not really capitalizing because they might have had 5, 6, 8 year plans. And, a company that I used to work with, they were great at bringing out new products that didn't really work.
Yeah.
And then 2 years after that blew up, I was like, yeah, well, maybe you should have just stayed on that path because you were onto something, but you didn't get immediate results because you might not have figured out the market. And then after you kind of like put in the small seeds of what was cool, it became cool, and then you didn't have that product anymore.
Right.
And
I put up a post, my V12, when I
Yeah.
had the trunk redone, and it was some idiot troll.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's where the money goes to. That's why all our prices keep getting marked up. One, I don't do this for free.
exactly,
I don't work 6, 7 days a week for nothing.
nobody does.
I don't have 32 employees and not pay myself.
Sure.
But we sell everything what the manufacturer tells us to sell for.
Sure.
It's MAP, and that's the way it should be. That stops all the price wars and all this.
Yeah.
Do you think we can get the new revive or regenerated B2 over here in a pricing that makes sense for the retailer,
Sure.
and then also where we're able to reset up other distributors and dealers? Do you think there's enough?
I'd say that is the ultimate goal
Right.
because there is sufficient profit for those people who wants to get involved. But I was never actually here in the States working directly with those dealers. So I don't really have an idea of, well, how many points do they need to make on each. I was more working on, well, this is the entry and that there is the MSRP.
when we talked last night, obviously the world doesn't even know what
Sure.
we were on the same target.
Sure.
That's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's just the common realm nowadays,
Sure.
right? And if we can bring that reset distribution, y'all might be watching this at some point where we've already either in the process of or already
Sure,
done
sure.
it. I don't know where this video goes. I just wanted to record it before he left. I think we can do it.
Yeah.
The question is, do you think there's enough of a following?
Sure, because we have people asking for products. We have very loyal people, and those people that are loyal are more than happy to basically show their systems and talk well about us. I'm not saying that we don't have fallouts with some, but most of the people that know the brand are happy to rep with the brand,
Right.
and they also know that we're a solid brand. We don't talk shit about anyone else. We do our things. We're not the exact same as everybody else. We get inspired, but we try to at least innovate with what we're doing.
So if you're watching this video, depending on how it comes out or for what, but I'll put it out there. If you're interested in jumping on board with, I don't want to say the new and improved, but yeah, improved B2. I mean, when you
Sure.
make changes, it's supposed to be to improve
Sure.
things.
For the better.
Right. Possibly you're watching this because we've already got that product over here. Big Jeff has already started to get it mainstream online at MAP prices, which will allow dealers to say, hey, I could keep this local, sell it local, make money. And or some of you distributors out there, obviously we gotta walk before we gotta crawl before we even walk, before we even run. But I think getting it here, getting it up online, starting to set up some dealers
Sure.
to show the demand's there, and then go to a couple key distributors that I know of throughout the states and say, hey, it's working. Here's the money.
Sure.
Right? Let's get it going.
I also think one thing that's very important to think of when it comes to pricing is that you also have to be loyal to your customers, because if you purchase something that's slightly costlier than whatever it might be, let's say $1,000, and the resale price or like the after sales price is maybe $500, so at least the customer, he's able to sell off his old stuff and then buy new stuff.
Right, 100%. Upgrade, yeah.
Yeah, sure, but if it becomes too cheap, the guy who actually purchased it, he can't get rid of it, meaning that basically they will just, that guy that wanted to maybe buy that used product will go buy a new one. So yeah, sure, that generates sales, but you might also have lost that customer that wanted to upgrade to something that was even more costly. So for me, that kind of makes sense that you have to have a price point, and you should try to keep that as long as possible, because if you bought your Grand Wagoneer and the next day it was at 50% off, I guess you'll be rather pissed.
Right.
And you wouldn't support that company in the future.
100%.
And maybe you're...
Especially when it's out of nowhere.
Exactly.
You
You're
know,
massive
when it's like a sale or Black Friday, it's a little different.
Sure.
We get them every year.
Yeah.
Which I hate that people wait. I understand they want to get the deal. But
Sure.
then people don't want to wait. They're not too worried about it, so they buy something. But then when the deal comes out, they want to bitch about it.
Sure.
Well, now it's 20% off. You knew Black Friday's coming, man.
Sure.
And we're obviously not going to put up every single thing that's going to be on sale, because that's the experience of. Now, there is places like Walmart and that have a set amount of items,
Sure.
and you're ready to pounce
jump on them, yeah.
Right, that's a little different to get the excitement going. But yeah, we got to take care of the customer. You know, I get the question all the time, why don't you just make a bunch of Big Jeff audio products? Because I just don't want to slap my name on stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we got the battery coming, and we got a couple key items, but they're different. I got no problem selling other people's stuff. So, if you're watching this and you're interested, here's the story. November 7th at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Jay came out here yesterday, and we got to hang out and talk ideas. And he's flying back tonight. And we're sitting here in the conference room. Normally this is all green screen, but we just put this up just in case my guys are going to put something up on there. But don't know what this video is going to turn into. But hopefully it's a video talking about how we revise B2 audio in the U.S.
Sure.
How's that?
Give it that like vitamin injection and let it blow up.
Yeah. And then hopefully it catches back on and we can get a good supply chain going.
Sure.
This will be happy. The last question I want to ask, and we'll wrap this up. What do you really say, if you were to explain to everybody right now, what makes B2 different? The product you design. Obviously, you're telling me right now, this is not just you slapping your name on
True.
Alibaba or China shit. Well, it all comes to play, but I'm saying just not slapping your name on somebody else's side. What makes B2 different?
I believe that each and every single product of us should at least reflect who we are. So I would feel bad if I put up some shit that I couldn't really use myself or that I wouldn't be proud of. I'm not saying that, of course, like 20 years down the line that I can't really, respect what I did back then. Sure, we made some products maybe 15 years ago, whatever, 5 years ago, that we might have been able to make different now because we have different technologies, different knowledge, and so forth. But I believe that each and every single product should basically reflect who the owners are. So even though I'm the owner, I'm still in touch with the people. And I believe that maybe we can improve this. Sure, I'm not saying that we're not inspired by everyone else, but I say that maybe we can do this in a way that people haven't thought of. Or maybe there's something like small features or gains that will make people believe that this year is more niche. Like Benz, people can drive a Benz or they can drive a Maybach. What's the difference? I'm not saying it's not the same, but it's basically Maybach is where people might have looked into something. Let's make something good that's good, but make it to the next level. And that's how I believe that we can do with some other brands. There are brands that does great stuff, but we're looking at, well, what could we do to maybe add on to those things, whether it's different types of technologies, different voice coils, different designs, but at least something that we can say that this is recognizable and you can stand by that product and you can believe in that this product will perform. Not just because it has big magnets or whatever, 10,000 watts of amplifiers and so on and so forth, but because it's been tested and tried by us. Not just put a logo on it, make some money, and who cares if it fails or if it doesn't, because a product is only as good as when shit hits the fan. And then you take care of it.
Right.
And that's what I'd say is probably a lot of the difference that I hurt when I see some shit that's broken. I hurt when I see product that I've built is not even being used. Because I believe that it's a reflection of me. That's probably the difference. I'm not saying that I'm the best businessman, because I'm probably not, but at least I'm here for passion. And I want to give that passion to people. So if my product looks bad, well, then I look bad.
Right. So that goes into the designing of it.
Exactly.
Even the marketing of it.
Sure, we could have probably made way more money using different material, but we're like, no, we want to do this because we know it's better. not because we can make more money. So, sure, money is great, but at the end of the day, you also have to leave your legacy.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So that's where we're gonna leave it at. It's a crazy, just one-on-one talk with Jay here, and hopefully we can get things going. Like I said, it's November 7th. Whatever you might have heard out there in the last so many months,
Sure.
it doesn't even matter. Why even care?
No, I don't need to comment on it.
Right.
There's no point.
There, because we're talking about bringing that brand with brand new product.
Exactly.
And not even start over from scratch, but start over with the improvements.
Yes.
And whatever has happened, or pricing, or sales, or lack of sales, that's all we're start over.
Sure.
Right. So if you
The foundation was already there,
right,
which is the hardest to get a foundation, get a foothold.
right. So you liked B2 Audio in the past, you're gonna like it better in the future, because you haven't had or the chance to touch, taste the new stuff.
Exactly.
And hopefully that's what's going to come about with this video, and we could be a part of that and go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Cool. We're done. Y'all fuck off.